Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room Podcast, episode 135. As you can tell by the title, we have a week. What is that? Week 13? Was that week 13 that we're recapping? I believe so. Let's see.
Oh, week 14.
Week
I'm pretty sure
14. Week 14, we recap of the NFL season. Everything is coming down to the wire. A few more games left in these teams' regular season. Things are heating up. We got a number of good games. Honestly, I feel like the beginning of the slate, as far as watchability, was pretty bad. I was not excited about a lot of them 12 p.m. games at all. Honestly,
it's
very
it's
quiet week.
it's just low stakes at this point in time. Like some of these games, no one cares about. Like getting yourself waking up to really watch the Giants and the Saints or the Jags and the Titans. I don't think anyone had any interest watching either one of those games.
The Cowboys are leading the Bengals right now. Oh my God, the Cowboys might do it. They're still in the playoff conversation at
Talking about
5 and
might do
7.
it. It's the fourth. I thought it was the third still. Yeah, there's a little time.
Yeah, we're not watching that game, and no one's really talking about that. That's crazy. I know Jamar Chase is having a special day.
It's been a special season. I'm not gonna lie. My hot take at the start of this year was that CD Lamb, the guy on the other side of the field, will have a triple crown winning season. Dak went out, but even before that, that was not happening. Jamar Chase, he's having an insane receiver season this year.
No, he is. I want to ask you, man, how you feeling? Semester over, back home. How I feel to be back home?
I'm feeling amazing. Last time I submitted today, so done with the semester. I go back to work on Thursday, get some shifts in while I'm home. Yeah, happy to be home though. Happy to take a break. Christmas time. It's not snowing though, which is crazy. I miss if it's Christmas time, I want the snow. January, February, I don't really want snow. But during Christmas time, I need the snow.
Nah, man, I feel relieved too. I have one more final that I'm pretty confident about, and then it's over for this semester. Long time coming. Uh, I feel like once you complete a semester, it's just like always a benchmark for you. You feel pretty good about that. So, man, it's been a long, tedious semester. So I'm ready to get it over. I think I have a paper to do as well that's due at 12 o'clock, but I already like did the whole paper. It's just like combining two rough drafts. Going to make some draft content tomorrow. Going to relax a little bit tomorrow too. So, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for football. So we're going to talk about the biggest games for Week 14. We got 4 games and 4 headlines in our topics today. The first one is going to be the Vikings handle the Falcons. It's not going to really be much about this game. I think it was closer sometimes, but Kirk Cousins is the biggest storyline out of this game. Over the last 4 weeks, I think he has like 8 interceptions or something like that and 0 touchdowns. The Falcons are 0-4 in the last 4 weeks. Kirk Cousins has been playing terrible. My question to you, Max, is Kirk Cousins washed, Max? And if he is, should the Falcons experiment with Michael Penix?
No, I do not think Kirk Cousins is washed. Is Kirk Cousins still in his prime? No, he is definitely a shell is a stretch, but he is definitely not the quarterback that we saw with the not Minneapolis Miracle. That was Case Keenum. He was not the quarterback of his best years out in Minnesota. Just not what we're going to get anymore. But this year, he still has put together some good outings. Like, we can't just say it's been a terrible year as a whole. Obviously, he had that great game against Tampa. You have good games for Carolina and New Orleans, good divisional matchups. They beat the Eagles this year. They have some good wins to hang their hat on. And Kirk's looked good at times. I think it's been a very rough stretch these past couple of games. I think when you look at the last 4, you play a couple tough defenses like Minnesota, like the Chargers, and like Denver. Oh, shoot, my thing's... So I do think that definitely plays a big factor to it. I think that when you look at those two teams on the field yesterday, Sam Darnold got to throw against a shaky Atlanta Falcons defense versus Brian Flores put together a great unit this whole entire season. So no, I would not say that Kirk Cousins is necessarily washed. Would I be worried if I was a Falcons fan? Yes, I'd be very worried. Tampa Bay has an easy schedule going forward. They could definitely rattle off some wins. And if Kirk doesn't turn it around sooner than later, you're going to miss out in the playoffs, who a lot of people thought this was a locked-up division. Atlanta got this easily. I was one of those people for sure. I thought Atlanta would run away with it. I thought 10 wins would even be enough, but Tampa is pushing it kind of out there, just trying to make sure they get that last spot. We'll see what happens, but Kirk definitely has to turn it around because this team cannot keep going without him. They need a quarterback to get the ball to everybody else.
I don't really remember what my reaction was when Kirk signed with the Falcons, but caught as hindsight, it was a terrible move. They can't get out of it, I believe, after next season. But
we liked it. You liked it too, I remember.
I have to go look, but I'm not sure on that. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you. Okay. Yeah, we'll look back.
We look back, probably on TikTok to find it. But I'm kind of more so leaning toward. I don't remember it totally, but I think I'm leaning towards I didn't like it. Kirk is going to be 37 next year, and he is showing signs of regression with his decision making. Mostly, like his decision making this year has been terrible. Hasn't been able to read the field like he once was. And this offense is just not as explosive as what it's supposed to be with a player like Kirk Cousins at the helm. Do I think he's necessarily washed? No. I think he's having a bad stretch, but he has shown flashes this year. I think he's at like 19 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I think he's top 3 in yards this year. He's like 14th in completion percentage. He's top 10 in completion percentage over expected. He's one of the best quarterbacks this year throwing the deep ball as well. Credit to Drake London and Darnold Mooney for that as well. So I don't think he's necessarily washed, but he's definitely not living up to the expectation of the contract that he signed. But he's a 37-year-old quarterback, owed a lot of money, still a lot of money to pay him over the next 2-3 seasons for sure. So I think it will be beneficial to put Penix in a game and see what he can do for you, especially in like a game or two. Like once they fall out of playoff contention, I think it's definitely be beneficial to play Michael Penix. Right now, they still have a shot at it, but I know there's some people that think that Penix can also have give them a better chance to win. Go ahead, Max.
So, what was your comment? What did you think? You said you did not think you were high on this.
Yes, I don't think I was. I don't remember though.
Has agreed to a 4-year deal with the Falcons.
Can you hear this?
Don't know the money yet or the guarantees, but I think it's a great move for the Falcons. It's kind of like a quarterback away. They obviously need an edge rusher, which I think they will get in the draft. But Kirk Cousins was like an MVP candidate last year before he got injured. He is now a little bit on the older side, but his game is not predicated on athleticism. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, probably a top 10 guy. And now they have someone to distribute to their multitude of weapons. They have Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. I think they're going to draft another wide receiver probably in the second round. This is going to be an 11-win team next year. And if they can shrink the defensive line, I think they can be a contender in the NFC. It's not hard to be. I think everybody knew this was coming.
So
that should not go. That should not. I don't remember. I
was A's like milk. So and they did address. They did get Jesse Bates. They did get Jesse Bates, and they did get
Don't talk about Matt Judon, bro.
They got Matt Judon. So to you, that's a contender, and they weren't.
No. See, now that was a video when it initially dropped, right? We did a series division preview, right?
Okay.
And I said something different. It might have not been about Kirk Cousins and the deal by itself, but it was definitely about the Falcons. And I'll find that pretty easily because I know all the videos we have. So in NFC South, it would have been
tie game. Cincy kicking field goal.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Really not scared of. That's not our title. They're just. They need it.
Here you go.
Q.
I'll go. I mean, I like the Judon move for the Falcons. They needed a pass really, really badly. They were bottom 10 in sacks last season, and bottom 10 in generating pressure. So it filled a need. Braylon Trice got injured. He's out for the season, so they definitely needed that as an added bonus. So they had to be desperate and give up a third-round pick, even though I didn't think they give up nothing crazy. Because Matthew Judon is a good player, but he is 32. He is coming off an injury, and he has to get paid. So they obviously didn't give up a lot for what they got. But I think he's going to help the team. I think he's still a pretty good pass rusher, still a good player. He can help a win-out team like the Falcons. I don't think they're going to win anything significant. I'll get into more of that later. But and then Justice Simmons is actually, I think, still a very good safety. But my reservations come by this team. We go on offense. On offense, they don't have a wide receiver too. On my eyes, I don't.
Mooney, that was a lie. That was a lie.
Mooney was pretty good.
Don't know. Yeah, that's a lie.
Kyle Pitts, I think he can be pretty good. What am I saying wrong right now?
Do you know who Money Man Mooney is, buddy?
There we go, James. James defended the Bears.
I'm trying to be serious right now.
Do you know who Money Man Mooney is?
I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to be serious right now.
Okay, let's go. James has been on that for a long time. I think Bears fans thought Mooney could be that too. For the first couple of years, and we believe in him. Jaden's been very vocal about that. I give him credit.
He's a lot of the time. So my reservations when it comes to this team are on offense.
Anyways,
really don't have.
Yeah. So I was high on the move as far as Kirk and stuff like that. I didn't know he was going to like regress like he has, but I didn't think they were going to be a contender. But by the time we got to the previews, I didn't think that was going to be a contender.
I don't even know if regression is the right word, and maybe I'm not watching the right things. I think it's been a very bad stretch. But like he has looked good at times this year.
Not for sure.
That's why I'm kind of like I'm kind of hesitant to say like, oh, he's washed, he's out. Like I still think it could just be a bad stretch of games.
No, it definitely could, and I think some people are being a little bit reactionary as far as
100%.
The bad stretch of games. But there is obviously an opposite side of this game. The Vikings improved to 11-2. My first question: do you think the Vikings are contenders? Because we've been going back and forth about this topic throughout the year. They're winning games. They only have 2 losses. Sam Darnold had a bad stretch game, probably about five straight games of below average play, considering what his standard was from the beginning of the year. It was probably more like 3 or 4. But now he's had like back-to-back games, a really great play, was really good against the Falcons. Now their defense is terrible. But do you think the Vikings are contenders in the NFC? And I think they should probably be in the conversation at least. I mean, 11-2, a pretty good defense, a really explosive offense. What are we thinking, Max?
I'll say no. And it's for the same reason why people hate on the Lions till this day. And that's just I don't know if I can trust Sam Darnold in an NFC Championship game with 2 minutes on the clock, going up against the Packers, going up against the Eagles, going up against Detroit. Like there are so many teams where if you put them up against a good defense in the NFC in a playoff game in a different environment, because they won't get a home game more than likely. I guess maybe if they keep winning, but you're going to have to beat Detroit again. I don't know if I have confidence in Sam Darnold to go lead his team to 3 different playoff wins and then win this. I don't know. I can't bet on that. On the other hand, I was laughed at for what I believed in this team. I believed in the Vikings from the get-go. I was laughed at. My stat that I actually have written down, I said this team would be better than Tampa. And I even said it doesn't have to be record-wise. They would just like look better than Tampa. And they look better than Tampa, have a better record than Tampa. They are a better team. But I do think we have to have some reservations. And again, it sounds like I'm hating. I feel like it always, because you got like NFL fans, football fans who watch the game and they watch Sam Darnold do this. Like, wow, Sam Darnold's top 10 quarterback. No, he has a top 10 situation. That's for sure. He's got talent. That's why he got drafted that high in the first round. He just hasn't really had a place to develop that. And I honestly think being in San Francisco helps him a lot with that development. I think you can learn a lot under a Shanahan offense. And I think that obviously with the pieces here, with Kevin O'Connell as well, it can really unlock. Sam Darnold was unplayable for a little bit in the Jets, in Carolina, wherever. But you also got to know those situations are shit. So you can't always blame Sam Darnold for that. But he obviously is showing what talent that he has, why he was drafted this high. But I still don't think that means he can be the Super Bowl winning quarterback right now. There are question marks that I have with him. And again, you said it. We saw a stretch this year where Sam Darnold looked like Jets Sam Darnold, right? We had some bad games. And I think when you look at other quarterbacks, when you look at other teams, the NFC is open. But I would still not say it's that wide open to where I have confidence that Sam Darnold is going to lead a Vikings team to Super Bowl berth.
Now, I understand the hesitancy with Sam Darnold, and I have my reservations with him as well. But the Vikings do have a pretty good defense. Obviously not operating as high as it was in the beginning of the year. But look at the Eagles, who I think are the best team in the NFC. they have issues right now. And I know I said that when Devonta Smith came back from injury that the passing game will get better. I do think it still will as the season ends and they go into the playoffs. But Jalen Hurts is not playing his best right now. I know he had solid weeks for a long time, and then against the Panthers, which we'll get into in our next topic, he wasn't operating as high as he can play. Who else is? I mean, the Lions defense
The Packers,
decimated by injuries. The Packers are a threat. I mean, I think they're probably on the same level as the Packers. If I had to,
and that's why I would push the Packers a step up because they have Jordan Love, right?
fair.
I think, and that's where I'm like, I am very, very focused
Sam
on
Darnold is playing right now. Sam Darnold is playing like a really, really good quarterback. He's playing. I mean, Sam Darnold is playing like a top 10 quarterback. To be being honest,
it's been
what he's playing like and what he is two different things. He's playing.
I guess, but I feel like when you put playing like, situation has to come into effect, right? Because if we're doing playing like, you got Jared Goff and Sam Darnold's like top 5 because they're putting out high-powered, efficient offenses, right?
I would say they're playing like that for sure. I don't think so. I think
that's like, and again, that's where I get confused. That's where I'm like getting
like. I have Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, Herbert. I'm talking about people that's playing better.
I was saying,
well, I'm playing. I think that Mahomes is playing better than Jared Goff and Sam Darnold. And the numbers don't say that. I'm talking about what I'm watching with my 2 eyes.
I guess that's just where it's like, obviously, if you put Sam Darnold, if you put Jared Goff and Pat Mahomes next to each other, I'm taking Pat Mahomes every single day. But like efficiency-wise, like that Lions offense is high-powered and very efficient.
They have better.
That's what I'm saying. You got to throw in situation. So I think
I'm considering a situation right now. I'm considering a situation with Sam Darnold and Jared Goff in terms of other players in the league, and I do think that even considering a situation, they are both playing like top 10 quarterbacks this year for this season.
Probably because again, I think it's a pretty weak year. I think like Geno's kind of had a little bit of a dip. Kyler's had a little bit of a dip.
Kyler's been inconsistent.
I'm just saying you have quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels started here, dropped down. I don't think he's right now playing like a top 10 quarterback. Dak's not healthy. Joe Burrow's up there.
No, Joe Burrow's up there for sure. But it's probably, you probably can't get to 10, but especially with golf, you can't get to 10 quarterbacks or with both of them. You can't get to. It's like as far as even considering that situation, they've been top 10 quarterbacks for this season.
Agree, but talent wise, they're not top 10 talent.
No, not at all.
Okay, just want to get that out there. Yeah,
okay, I mean, I think they're not contenders. They're a little bit below. Probably contenders, especially in the NFC. And I was thinking about this earlier while I was at work. I'm like, dang, this could be sort of like a what is his name? Why did I just forget his name?
Case Keenum, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles situation where he inherits a high-power offense with a great play caller like Doug Peterson was, and he goes to Super Bowl, and we don't think Nick Foles can actually win a Super Bowl. Like no one thinks that, but he then goes into the Super Bowl and beats Tom Brady. Like I've seen crazy things happen. So
I guess my only difference with that is you should honestly feel more confident about this Vikings team than that because Carson Wentz was the MVP. He was putting out a high-powered team, right? Like they were 11-2 when he got injured, right? Mm-hmm. And then Nick Foles takes over end of the year and leads him to a Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, my only difference with that is Nick Foles was like kind of good back in the day. Like he had a couple seasons where he was like a solid QB.
He was solid. He was solid.
Like this is Sam's first year. Like this is a Geno year, right? This is Geno's first year being good.
A Geno Baker year, but I mean, it's like he never had that real.
Baker had a couple competent years in Cleveland.
Yeah, for sure.
Sam Darnold was like not. He didn't put out anything. So especially for a guy like you who hates on Jared Goff, and I understand, right?
I hate on Jared Goff.
But
I don't hate on Jared Goff at all.
You said it last episode. Your big reason with the Lions is you're not trusting Jared Goff in the Super Bowl.
That's not hating on him. That's just calling him how I see it.
But I'm just saying, like that's one where it's like, I agree. That's something with me where it holds me back. I still think the Lions are gonna like great team, and I still think they can do a lot. But in a Super Bowl where I think it's close, I'm gonna go with the quarterback position. I think that I feel like you would see that more than anybody with this Sam Darnold thing.
No, I have my reservations as well. But I think at times we have been too hard on players like Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and Sam Darnold. But I do have a Sam Darnold. Would you rather? It feels like the appropriate time with how well he's been playing.
We are doing like everyone has the same situation, correct? What quarterback do you want?
Yeah, don't.
I'm trying to differentiate this. Are we going like
who would you rather have as your starting quarterback?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I got a Brock Purdy. All right, y'all. I got a Sam Darnold. Would you rather? Just let me know which quarterback you'd rather have as your quarterback going forward. First name up, Kirk Cousins.
Going forward.
Who would you rather have as your quarterback, Max?
Going forward.
Today, right now.
Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Again, we're going to get too long. We got to crop all this out. Like, going forward for a career or till the end of the season?
For the career.
Sam Darnold, then.
Okay. I will also take Sam Darnold. I think Kirk has looked pretty bad. He's also 37 years old. So it's like the age factor thing. I still think he's a really good quarterback, though. Well, he could be. I don't know.
I think he is. Good.
Next name up is Baker Mayfield.
I think Baker would light this offense up. Give me Baker.
I'm taking Baker, too. He's playing really, really well. He has been for the last 2 seasons. And a good situation, but not as good as what Sam Darnold has at his benefit. Next name up is Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
I'm taking Jared Goff too. He has more years of consistency. Yeah. I think that Sam Darnold is more talented. He is more mobile. Can rush it a little bit. He's a pretty good pocket passer as well. I think he's more talented.
I don't know.
Jared Goff. But I'm taking Jared Goff though. I would say, depending on how Sam Darnold continues his career, though, it would probably be super close.
I agree.
Next name up is Tua Tagovailoa.
You can't keep putting his name in this because the injury just sucks.
No, he's been playing amazingly since he got back. By the way,
I'm just saying the injury still sucks. Yeah, I think Tua is a more talented quarterback than Sam Darnold. So Tua.
Let's see. Tua Tagovailoa's stats this year. I mean, I'm taking Tua, but I just want to see his stats. 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 107 passer rating, 74 completion percentage. He's been amazing.
But the injuries scare people. Like, it's got to scare everybody.
I'm going to take Tua. He's been amazing since he returned. He's been amazing this whole year while he's been on the field. Obviously, he had them 2 pretty mediocre games to start the year, but since he returned from injury, he's been killing it. I'm taking Tua. Last name is Brock Purdy.
Yeah, it was actually kind of tough. I'll take Brock, but it's tough. It's close. I like Brock.
I'll take Brock too. It's close. I think I don't know. I don't want to overreact to one season of Sam Darnold, but they might be in the same tier. I'm not gonna lie.
I also don't want to overreact to one little bad stretch of Brock. And I'm not saying he's a great quarterback the whole time. I want to see what he does with the bad team right now too. But given the same situation, like what happens if Sam Darnold's offense gets a little hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like I do want to see how they both play.
Brock has more film of being good. He has more time of being good, being more consistent. I want to take Brock Purdy for the time being right now, though. All right, that's the Sam Darnold. Would you rather? I think that was good. Those were great names.
I was waiting for Kyler.
No. I had Geno Smith on here first, but I took him out because I realized I forgot about Purdy. Eagles squeak by the Panthers. Bryce Young, the box score didn't show it necessarily, but had another good game. He's continued to build confidence. The Eagles kind of played down to their opponent. I think they underestimated the Panthers a little bit. The passing game was atrocious. Hurts missed a lot of reads.
AJ Brown didn't do anything.
Saquon Barkley did his thing on the ground, and they got the win because Xavier Legette dropped a game-winning touchdown. Just selling my boy Bryce. It's just selling him. It's insane. But the question for this game is, are you concerned about the Eagles passing game? I know we talked about this. Well, we didn't talk about this. Actually, I made the comment where I said their passing game will get better when Smitty got back, and then me and Q had a conversation in Discord. So you didn't see this, but Q was basically saying that he didn't think the passing game would get better even when Devonta Smith came back from injury because this is a run-heavy team whose main offense is rushing. So do you have concerns about the passing game, though? Because A.J. Brown brought up in his presser that he was concerned about the passing game. I don't know if you saw it, bro, but Brandon Graham was on a podcast or something today and was saying basically what has been interpreted as, because there's been a lot of conversation about what he actually meant, but he said he basically said that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts were friends before they came in the NFL as teammates and stuff like that. And now that has changed, and there's basically some like personal stuff going on behind the scenes, but he thinks they need to be professional on the field with their relationship and stuff like that. So I don't know if he meant like they are having some type of personal issues, but A.J. Brown has been frustrated on multiple occasions this year. He was frustrated a bit last year when he wasn't getting targeted. So I don't know what's going on with their dynamic, but there seems to be like there's an issue in the locker room. But we're going to speak on like, are you concerned about their passing game right now?
I guess concerned. I don't know because I always
really bad, by the way. So it's like the Panthers defense is really bad too.
Understand. And my thing is more, I see them as the second best team in the NFC. Right? That hasn't changed. I still have Detroit above them. I guess my concern would be if they want to beat Detroit, you beat Detroit by passing. Their secondary is not good, right? They're in the slot. They can't guard the slot. Their secondary is not it. They got Brian Branch back there, Terrion Arnold, Kirby, whatever. People beat them by passing. So it's as simple as that. I know they have injuries up front. They still get it done on the run defense. You want to beat the Lions by passing the football, winning a shootout. You got to score quick because they run the clock down. If you can't pass the football right now, especially with Smitty out and A.J. Brown is not part of your game plan, that's not great. That's not a recipe for success against a team like Detroit. A team like Detroit, again, they're going to try and dominate the trenches, and you have Saquon Barkley, who's had an insane season and will definitely win some of those matchups. But you have to show Detroit to respect the pass. They got to keep the blitz off. They can't stack the box every time. You got to bring people back. And so until you can really prove that you're going to be dotting up the defense, until you have confidence in Jalen Hurts, I don't see this team contending, or they will contend. They can win, whatever. But I don't see them winning against a team like Detroit until they can really start passing the football better. I do think, though, this Saquon Barkley signing right now, I mean, it's going down as one of the best free agency signings of recent memory. This without Saquon Barkley, and again, we talk about the MVP conversation, whatever. I still think Josh Allen's the MVP. We'll talk about that a little later. But Saquon Barkley is like, he's the reason they're here right now, right? He has opened up their run game. Their offensive line is not as good as it was in the past couple of years. It's still good, but he makes this offensive line look better than it is, in my opinion. And he obviously helps the passing game because he's able to open up with the run game. The passing game getting worse and worse puts more and more and more pressure on Saquon. And I feel like that's just not good. Like, Saquon's injury prone. Not saying it's going to happen, but you want to take as much pressure off Saquon as possible. And now he is literally the reason that you win or lose games. Like, Saquon's the only person who's like really carrying the team apart. So they have to fix that, especially if they want to make a deep playoff run. Again, your defenses look good, but Jalen Hurts got to put some stuff together because he is the key that's going to push his team to a Super Bowl or not. If he can figure out the passing game, this team's fine.
I've been saying this all year. Like, whether I'm high on Philly at the moment, whether I'm low on Philly at the moment, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are going to be the two biggest factors of if this team wins a Super Bowl or not. Their defense is elite. The running game is elite. The offensive line is elite. The weapons room with the wide receivers and tight ends, elite. Jalen Hurts has to be a better passer for his team to win a Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni has to be a better game manager for his team to win a Super Bowl. Those two people are going to be their downfall if they ultimately don't get it done. And this is one of the best rosters they had. I feel like one of the best teams they have had in a while. And I think it's an argument that it could be better in the year, 2023.
It's different. It's different. I don't know if it's better.
The offensive line was better, I think, because you had Jason Kelce.
Defense is experienced.
I think the defense is low-key better this year. Like, I don't think they're gonna get necessarily exposed come playoff time. Like Gannon's scheme was really bad. Bradbury he showed his ass in the playoffs. He was really bad. we got to see. We got to see how they hold up in the playoffs. But I think their defense is because remember last year in 2023 their defense was picking on teams that were really like their schedule was a lot softer. This year they shut down. They stopped the Ravens. Who else did they stop? They played the Bills too, right?
The Eagles? I don't think so.
No, okay. Well, they shut down like better. Let me go look at their schedule.
Yeah, I got it.
They shut down the Commanders too.
They lost to the Bucks. Shut down the Rams, Ravens, Commanders, Bengals. Only 17 points.
So this defense is actually real. I think the defense might be better. And then obviously Hurts is playing better. The play calling was better with Shane Steichen, but they didn't have Saquon Barkley. So I think this is arguably the best team that they had in a very long time. This team, and it's going to get wasted.
Jalen Hurts was playing better back then, though,
because he had better play calling.
I mean, when you look at the team,
no, I'm saying I think this is arguably as good of a team as they had in 2023, if not better. And they're not going to win a Super Bowl like they did it in 2023 if Jalen Hurts is not able to be an above average quarterback, passer, whatever you need for him to do in order for him to get it done. So he got to step it up, or you're gonna waste another talented roster. And then we can talk about Bryce. He did everything. He did enough to win a game. He delivered 8-9.
In my opinion, this is where I get like mad. Like Caleb in some of those games, like especially like the Commanders game, Caleb put his team in a position to win the football game, and his team let him down, right? On that Tyreek Stevenson play. Bryce Young put his team in a position to win that football game, and Leggett dropped it. And again, you can't get a much better pass than that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like that was right there.
Bryce to a touchdown pass, like it would probably been it. Like Bryce to an actual touchdown pass, that probably would have like literally been that. Now the Commanders game, I get it for Caleb.
I'm saying Caleb put his team up. You got to make one play happen. Bryce put the ball exactly where it needed to be for Leggett to catch it and go win the game. That's what I'm saying. Like Caleb did all he could to win that football game. Bryce did all he could to win that football game. He literally, you know what I'm saying? Like he did the exact play you're supposed to do, and it just didn't work. So again, it's gonna happen, right? People drop balls. People drop passes all the time. Like it's not a huge deal. It's just situational. It looks so much worse because it's the last play of the game. You're about to miss a touchdown.
No, it is a huge deal. Xavier Leggett has not been good this year. His hands are terrible.
He's good with Andy.
This is the type of win that you need for a young quarterback who had been benched mid-season, might have lost his confidence, came back, has been playing amazing, did enough to win you the game. This is one of those games you needed to win. And I understand that it was better for their draft position and all that type of stuff. But when you can get a moral victory like this and an actual victory like this, it can do a lot for your young quarterback. And I think seeing the win right there can do a lot for culture and all that type of stuff. It would have been great for the Panthers. And it's very sad that Xavier Leggett dropped that wide open touchdown. I don't care if it was a slight overthrow. You're an NFL wide receiver. You have to make that catch. A lot of wide receivers make that catch. He's still young. I understand that. But it just highlighted that the Panthers need to go get Bryce a weapon bad. They need to give him a weapon bad. I know
he's playing football right now.
I know their defense is terrible. They either need to draft Tet or sign T. Higgins or something like that. They need him to get help really, really bad because Bryce is showing flashes of being
they need
to give him some help badly. I'm praying for him, bro.
They should trade for Deontay Johnson. He just got benched.
Bro, he sucks, bro. I'm glad he's out. I'm glad he's away from Bryce because he
was good with Andy. Again, all these receivers seem to be good with Andy Dalton, but bad with Bryce.
Okay, yes. Come on, Bryce. He got Adam Thielen. He's literally breathing life into Adam Thielen's career.
This happens all the time. We can't act like it didn't happen last year too.
But yeah, Bryce, I'm happy for Bryce. I think they have a clear direction and what they need to do this offseason. Either they need to go defense for sure. Defense is not good at all.
They spent a lot of money last year too on pieces as well, so you just got to make sure you kind of
wide receiver either in the draft or in free agency. That's what I would do if I'm the Panthers, because they might have something in Bryce Young, man. They might have something. But let's talk about the Dolphins and Jets. This game went to overtime. It looked like the Jets were going to get a meaningless win in December, but obviously they don't win. They were pretty close. The defenses fell off a cliff. Tua was amazing in this game. The Jets and Aaron Rodgers continue to struggle. They obviously put up points on offense. So basically, my question for you is: so the Jets have now been eliminated from the playoffs.
Yep.
Should this be Aaron Rodgers' last year in the league?
Sure. Like, it really doesn't matter to me at the end of the day. I think that no matter what happens, Aaron Rodgers come back next year. Even if everything's fixed, I don't think this team's like they've showed this year that they don't have the capabilities to do this. They need an amazing coach. They need to fix the O-line. You got a lot of issues to fix in one offseason, and I just don't think that Rodgers is going to stick around for much longer. So yes, I'd say retire. I see people saying he could go to the Giants or whoever. I don't care. I'm kind of just done with this whole Aaron Rodgers thing right now. I think retirement would be fine. My question, though, is to flip to you. Do you think he should retire? Yes or no?
I do think he should retire. He's just ruining his legacy. You are a bona fide.
I said this a little bit ago, and you said no, it's not ruining his legacy.
You're ruining his legacy. You're a bona fide top 5 quarterback. Going out like this. Well, I didn't think he was gonna miss playoffs. Going out like this, missing playoffs. You look terrible. Your reputation as a leader is getting worse and worse. This is not a good way to go out at all. So I think it's and also outside of the legacy part, I don't think he is a nowhere near top 10 quarterback anymore. I think he can give you good moments. He's pretty average still. But it's like when the game leave the game before the game leaves you type shit. So yeah, that's how I was
question now.
Yeah, what's up?
Your guy is 3-10.
Yes.
You need a new GM because I believe they fired him, or they still have Douglas. They fired him, right?
Fired him.
So Latif Love, you are the new general manager of the New York Jets, and currently, let me make sure you have, I think, a top 5 pick, right?
Something like that.
Latif, with your top 5 pick, who are you selecting in this upcoming draft?
They have the number 7 pick. They have the number 7 pick.
It's hypothetical. With this topic, who are you selecting in this upcoming draft?
I would say they need probably another edge rusher. Another edge rusher.
You're not addressing the quarterback position.
Oh no, I would not address the quarterback position.
So what are you doing with the quarterback position going into the 2025 season?
If I'm the Jets and I need a quarterback for next year, I'm going to this offseason call Sam Darnold. I'm going to call Sam Darnold because he's going to be one of the best free agencies. He can be one of the best free agents on the market. Have a homecoming with a much better infrastructure. Hopefully, much better coaching, much better GM. The defense is going to be much improved from when he was last in New York. The offense, he has actual weapons. So he should be able to continue to play decently well. And he can either be a bridge quarterback for a quarterback in a few years, or maybe he blossoms and continue to blossom, and he can be a franchise quarterback. I would just try to snag Sam Darnold if he wants to come back to New York one more time. That's all I would do. Real shit.
I don't know if Minnesota's letting him go right now.
That I was going to ask you that. So I saw like I forgot what his name. He's on like he created the volume. That dude.
The what?
The volume. He created the volume.
The volume.
You don't know? He's on Fox Sports. Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd talked about.
He kills me. He's so funny when he gets like so sentimental.
Yeah, I talked about I mean, he was talking about like if you're the Vikings and he could say play like this, how you let him walk out the door. Well, you just drafted a quarterback with a ninth overall pick, so you really don't have an option unless you want to sit him another year. What's up?
I think you can. You can get away with sitting him for another year. My only thing is you need to convince Sam that we want you to be here. I need you on a 2 or 3 year deal. And then we'll slowly factor JJ in. Again, I don't think Sam's going to like that. I don't think he wants to be a bench quarterback after what just happened. But I truly think Sam would be a great bridge quarterback and quarterback that JJ could learn from. Again, I don't have much belief in JJ McCarthy. I don't think he's been sitting out for a long time. I think with this injury, he could still sit out a little bit more and kind of get those reps back in because I don't know what he's been doing while he's been injured. I do think, though, Sam Darnold has been around the league. He knows different offenses. He's seen different systems. He's won. He's lost. I think he would be a great quarterback to learn the ropes from in the NFL. I think there's a couple guys like that. Again, you thought the Baker Mayfields, right? I think Geno Smith. A lot of those guys who are journeymen, who've seen it all, who've done it all, I think they are very valuable people to learn from. Andy Dalton is showing that right now. You can say what you want. Bryce has taken whatever in the last couple of weeks, and he's putting that together, and he's putting together a great campaign on this back part of the season. I think that Sam Darnold will be a very good quarterback for JJ to learn from. You just got to convince Sam that you need 2 years, one more to learn from, and then one to bench. But I think
he can probably get more money on the open market, and I can't imagine him not doing that. So I definitely think he's going to leave if he can.
If Minnesota re-signs him, they re-sign him to keep him, and that's just the issue. Is like Sam Darnold's going to want a starting job. So
let's talk about the Dolphins. They're not technically out of the playoff race yet. I don't think they're going to make it. But do you think Mike McDonald should be in the hot seat this year? He is 1-15 against winning teams. He hasn't been able to adjust their scheme to them playing in the cold, playing in high leverage situations and games. Their offense gets steals. Their offense really implodes against good teams. It's not as good at all. So you don't think Mike McDaniel's on the hot seat at all, Max?
Hold on one second. Let me look up one thing. I was going to say no. That 1-15 stat did not know about. That's obviously not great.
He's 1-15 against winning teams.
So my only issue with that is if you look in the past couple of years, Tua played 9 games in 24. Then you have 23. He played 17, 22, 13, 21, 13, and 2010. There definitely is some consistency issues there. They didn't have
Mike McDaniel wasn't the coach for all of those.
I'm just saying, though, Tua has missed injuries. This whole concussion has been a big deal. Fact or fiction? They missed him in their playoff game, too. So I think that the inconsistency with him at quarterback, obviously he knows the position. He's been there long enough. I think McDaniel's known as offensive guru, right? He's known as this high-powered offense. He's got the players to put in whoever he wants. I don't know. I think it's that 1-15 record is scary against winning teams, right? You want to have a coach that has outminded other people, outsmarted other coaches, and Mike McDaniel being 1-15 is not great. But at the same time, like his offense has been high powered. He gets shut down, I guess, in some games. I feel like it's their defenses kind of let up more points sometimes. The weather, I get what you're saying. Like they're going to Arrowhead last year, they're going to Buffalo. It's tough to play there, but it's tough to play there for a lot of teams. Unfortunately, they just got to play Buffalo twice a year, every year. I don't know. I guess if I had to rate the hot seat 1 through 5, I'd put it at a 3. I guess if they really want to see some change, maybe. I feel like when I'm thinking about hot seats in the NFL, I don't think Mike McDaniel's on the hottest seat right now.
I don't know about 3. I think that's too low, considering like literally every time they are against a good team, their offense just never is high explosive as it is against inferior opponents. I understand that they didn't have a backup quarterback, a competent one at all. But for how bad their offense looked against a team like Tennessee, who I know their defense is good, but like it's insane how bad their offense looked when Tua was out. So he just hasn't been able to adapt when Tua's not in the lineup. He hasn't been able to adapt when the team he's playing isn't a below average team. He hasn't been able to adapt at all. He got killed in the playoffs last year. I think I would probably say it's like a 6 or 7.
I said 1 through 5. He's a 3.
Oh, you said 1 through 5 is a 3. Okay, yeah. So probably 6 or 7. Through 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so you breaking the scale?
I'm crying. Anyways,
yeah, this game's kind of irrelevant to me. I know we talked about it beforehand. They have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't know if it happens, but they still have a chance.
So yeah. That's enough about that game. The Jets are finished. I'm not gonna be watching any of their games for the rest of the season. Haven't been really watching
probably ever again.
Yeah, probably not. Unless they have a quarterback that I care about. So Rams, Bills, game of the year candidate, if not the game of the year, unquestionably. 42-44. Very, very high scoring game. Not a lot of defense played, especially in that second half, and especially in that third quarter. What was your takeaways from the game? Very, very high scoring, electric. Puka showed up. Cooper Kupp showed up. Shakir was hooping for the Bills. Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns. What was your takeaway from the game, if you have had any, about either team?
So I think people are going to jump to conclusions and say that the Bills should be scared or the Rams are contenders or whatever. I think this makes, like, what I predicted this? No. But I think this makes sense. And it's just simply for the fact the Rams could do this once every year. I feel like they go nuclear once every year. They have Matt Stafford, they have 2 great receivers, and you have Kyren Williams. You have the facilities the assets to really put together a high-scoring offense, especially against Buffalo, who, again, has looked good at times, has looked bad at times, kind of been everywhere. I think they're a good defense, and I think just they had a bad game. And I think on the flip side, you can say the same thing. The Rams have looked good this year. They're young, but they still look good on defense. But Josh Allen can air the football out whenever he wants. And with both run games, Kyren Williams scored, James Cook was slow to kind of get started. But this was kind of just like you put 2 great quarterbacks with some good receiving cores on just defenses that weren't playing today, and this was just going to happen. So I think going forward, like, I think it'll be an anomaly. I don't think it's like anything that I'm really going to like remember when the Bills beat the Rams. That's why I'm not going to pick the Bills. Like, I don't think it's going to have like that kind of effect on me. It was a great game, but overall, I'm not really scared for either team. I think the Rams could maybe make a playoff run. I think the Bills are fine. They lost, but they kind of had a good comeback at the end. They were down, I think, 14 at one point in time in the third or the fourth. They're down double digits in the fourth. So
they were down 31-14 in the third quarter.
Okay. Well, again, I'm just kind of like, great game, but I'm not really like, I feel like I'm not really overreacting much more than that was a good game. So
Jamar Chase has 14 receptions for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. He scored a 40-yard touchdown and put the Bengals up 7-7 with a minute left. So
Cooper Rush to CD 100 yards. Watch.
But yeah, I mean, it was a very exciting game. I do think it was not as close as it looked, because the Rams did go up 31-14. They did go up about like 17 at one point. The Bills obviously battled back. You got to give them credit for that. I think Josh Allen had a great game. Shakir was amazing. Puka established himself. I mean, when he's been healthy this season, he's been amazing. Kupp, I think, had a decent game as well. The Rams are a scary team. If they make the playoffs, they're going to be dangerous. The defense has a really good pass rush. The secondary is very it's not good, to be fair. It's not. But with their offense, they can compete with any team in the entire league because of how good their offense is. If they get going, it gets really, really scary for any team. So they're kind of like a team that you would not want to face in the playoffs at all if they're able to make it. Now, I don't know if they are, because the Seahawks are leading in the division right now. I think they have a game lead right now, so we got to see how it shake out. But if the Rams sneak into the playoffs, they're going to be a very, very, very dangerous team to face. I don't think any team wants to play a team with a top 6 quarterback, one of the best head coaches in the league, 2 elite receivers, an elite running back. You definitely don't want to play with that. And then the defense is opportunistic. They can get to the quarterback and all that type of stuff. So a very, very dangerous team. As far as the Bills, I mean, I'm not going to overreact to this game. I mean, I think their defense is still pretty good. They got embarrassed against the Rams, but the Rams their elite offense with elite personnel.
And they have injuries, obviously, all the time, I feel like, with their O-line. But I feel like the Rams defense isn't bad. They just had a bad game.
No, the Rams defense is the secondary isn't good.
I
The
guess the front seven. I'm speaking more of the front
pass
seven.
rush has been better than what people thought it was going to be.
Fisk and what's his name? Fisk and
Fisk and not Braylon Trice.
no, Verse, Jared Verse.
Yeah,
Jared
Verse.
Verse.
Yeah, for sure. So the Bills, I mean, still. I mean, I'm not really like lower on them because this game they lost. I do think that the Chiefs have basically secured the 1 seed now. But Max, I want you to give me your top 5 MVP candidates, and do you think Josh Allen is still number 1? Just give me your top 5.
Yes, Josh Allen is my overall number 1 MVP candidate. I'll still say followed second and third, and you can kind of put it in your order with Saquon and Lamar. And I think those 3 are going to be up there, obviously. Past that, it kind of gets murky. Past that, I think it kind of gets a little questionable about who you have up there. You can honestly throw Jamar up there. No, I'm kidding. My bias is going to creep in, and I'd like to say that Herbie's up there. Herbie's putting a good season together, obviously. And that's why I'm kind of just – I think everybody after those names – I want to make sure I got everyone. I'm not forgetting.
Golf is 4th in odds. Patrick Mahomes is 5th in odds. Sam Darnold is 6th in odds.
And that's where I just can't pick. Yeah, I'm not picking Sam. So I guess if you want – I would go Josh, Saquon, Lamar, drop off. Then I put Goff, and then I'll go Herbert.
For me personally, I think is Josh Allen at 1, Lamar Jackson at 2, Saquon Barkley at 3. At 4, there's an extreme drop off, and I'm not uttering the words Jared Goff in the MVP conversation. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know people think he should be in the MVP conversation. I know people think Sam Darnold should be in the MVP conversation. Obviously, the quarterback award. I mean, the quarterback is a very, very valuable position, which is why the MVP mostly goes to quarterbacks. But I do think they're having amazing seasons. I do think they are in situations where they're not elevating the situations. They're not probably the most valuable to their situation. There are other things that are more valuable to them in their situations. I don't think they're elevating the situation. I just think their play is damn near a product of that situation. And that's how I feel. I'm sorry. Until I see more. I don't see Jared Goff creating out of structure.
So who's your 4 and 5?
Oh, I mean, it's just I just don't really care to say after that. Probably Mahomes.
Okay.
You know, he's not having a great
Give me
year.
a 4 and a 5. Give me a real 4 and a 5.
I'll probably say number 1, Josh Allen. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Saquon Barkley. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes. And number 5, Jared Goff. I'll do that. Herbert.
That's my bias. I'm fine with that.
Herbert ain't winning enough. I'm sorry.
He's not. I don't think Jared Goff's winning it either.
No, I said he's not winning enough, like games.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. The Chargers are dealing with some tough injuries. Like Talib McConkey wasn't ideal against the Chiefs. But let's talk about Tua. I mean not Tua, Puka.
Tua.
I got a star bench cut, man.
Yeah.
This might be the last thing for the episode, right? This is the last thing it is.
I've been sitting with this one for a while. No, we got who won the NFC West.
I don't want to talk about that. Start bench cut. Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Garrett Wilson.
So I've seen this on topic list since the start of the episode, and I've been going back and forth in my mind with this for a long time. And again, I think no matter who you say, everyone's going to throw a situation in your face and say that this person's better because they put up these stats, even though we're taking the situation away entirely. I think if I'm going talent on there, the only thing I'm confident is that I'm starting Garrett Wilson. I want Garrett Wilson on my football team. I would start Garrett Wilson. So then you have Puka and Amon-Ra. And it's tough because I really think that those two are both elite, probably top 10 receivers, and both do different things very well. Yeah, we were talking about the production earlier. I'll start Garrett. It's close. It's close. I don't know. I'll start Garrett. I'll bench Puka, and I'll cut Amon-Ra. I hate it, but I hate it.
I'm going to start Puka Nacua. I'm going to bench Garrett Wilson. I'm going to cut Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think all these receivers are really, really good. Borderline. I think all three of them are, you can argue, that are elite receivers. I think
top 10, top 11.
And we're talking about skill set. I think Puka has some of the best hands in the league. He's a really good route runner. He's really good after the catch. He's a really, really physical receiver as well. And his production matches that. I think Garrett Wilson is a elite route runner. He can do things after the catch. He has some pretty good hands as well, and his production without great quarterback play his entire career, because even with Aaron Rodgers been here, hasn't got great quarterback play. It's been pretty spectacular, and his skill set is that of a top 10 receiver. Amon-Ra is a really good against zone, really good in the slot, really good after the catch, a really physical receiver, has some really good hands, but against press man, against corners, he is not the best, and that's why I'm going to cut him.
I could just think like a one-on-one jump ball ability. I think Amon-Ra's last right now.
For sure.
Like, and I get like there are definitely ways to scheme people open for sure, and like obviously playing the slot's completely different, but like there's just something. If I throw the ball up, I want my receiver to come down with that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 125, man. Thank you for tuning in with us. A lot more content coming soon. I'm about to be out of school, and that's when the content is going to go up for sure. So make sure you guys follow us on our social media accounts up at the top of the screen, and we are out.